Golden FM 97.5.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on the Golden Sunrise National and World News. In the headlines, NDLEA arrests Chinese businessman, 80-year-old grandma with pillows in Moi Moi sachets. Court rejects INEC plea to set aside judgment on electoral offenders in 2023 elections. Inspector General of Police applauds celebration of Police Officer of the Year 2024 by Bayelsa Governor. Governor Diri tax universities on Made in Nigeria innovations, pledges housing project at alma mater. On foreign scene, Israel announces tactical pause to fighting in parts of Gaza and says it will open aid corridors. Details coming up shortly.
This is your Golden 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
I am Moya Steven. Now the details. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a Chinese businessman, an 80-year-old woman, and several others in a series of nationwide drug interdiction operations that led to the seizure of large quantities of synthetic and imported cannabis, opioids, and other illicit substances. The agency made their arrests across multiple states between July 21 and July 26, 2025, according to a statement issued on Sunday by Mr. Femi Babafemi, Director of Media and Advocacy at the NDLEA headquarters in Abuja. One of the suspects, a Chinese national identified as Liang Tak-yu, was arrested on Friday, July 25, at the arrival hall of the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos. Mr. Babafemi disclosed that the NDLEA operatives acting on intelligence apprehended Liang after he arrived from Bangkok via Dubai aboard an Emirates flight. He was found with 2 suitcases containing 50 parcels of Canadian Loud, a synthetic strain of cannabis, weighing 26.1 kilograms. In Calabar, Cross River State, 80-year-old Grace Ekpeme was arrested in the early hours of Saturday, July 26, with over 3 kilograms of cannabis at her residence in the Edet Insa area of Calabar South. Retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mara, NDLEA chairman, commanded the agency's commands across the country for their efforts. He also praised operatives nationwide for maintaining a balanced approach to drug supply and demand reduction. Many pensioners in the Federal Capital Territory have expressed frustration over the delay in the payment of pension arrears. President Bola Tinubu had given approval for the 758 billion naira treasury bond by the Federal Executive Council in February for payment of the arrears. However, the National Assembly has approved the implementation of the 758 billion naira treasury bond on July 22. The bond was to clear all government liabilities under the contributory pension scheme for retirees for more than decades. The pensioners who lamented over their sufferings also urged the immediate implementation of the 758 billion naira treasury bond to increase their monthly pension in line with the present economic reality. In an interview with Newsman, Hajia Amina Lawal said that even some workers could not afford 3 meals, adding that it is harder for pensioners. Mr. George Oshe, another pensioner, said they were going through a lot, revealing that some pensioners have lost their lives in the struggle. Mrs. Joy Adewale, who retired with her husband in 2016, said she had been struggling with life. Mrs. Nkiru Ofo, who retired in 2019, said her entitlements were paid in 2021 and the payment had been regular, but there was a need to increase it. And Mr. Ivan Suba urged the federal government to come to their aid and said they need their arrears to start up a small business. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has rejected the attempt by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC to set aside the judgment directing and compelling it to investigate and prosecute perpetrators and sponsors of electoral violence and other electoral offences committed during the 2023 general elections. Mr. Kolawole Oluwadare, Serap Deputy Director, made this available to Newsman in a statement on Sunday. INEC's application was brought to challenge the contempt lawsuit brought by Serap against Professor Mahmoud Yakub, INEC chairman, over the Commission's failure to obey the July 18, 2024 judgment by Justice Obiora Egwatu. INEC had on December 17, 2024 filed a preliminary objection seeking to set aside Justice Egwatu's judgment on the grounds of alleged misrepresentation, non-disclosure, and concealment of material facts. INEC also sought to release the SERAP lawsuit against INEC so that it can be heard and determined on merits. But Justice Egwatu, in his ruling dated July 23, 2025, rejected INEC's arguments and dismissed the preliminary objection. In his ruling, Justice Egwatu held that the judgment delivered by the court on the 18th of July 2024 is a final judgment, adding that it is a judgment on the merits and not a default judgment as contended by INEC. Meanwhile, the case has been adjourned to October 20, 2025 for the hearing of the contempt lawsuit against INEC. Mr. Kayode Egbetekun, the Inspector General of Police, has commended Governor Oyediri of Bayelsa State for hosting a high-level state banquet in honor of Mr. Sentome Obi, Superintendent of Police, recipient of the Police Officer of the Year 2024 and IGP Integrity Award. The event, which took place in Yanagwa, symbolizes a significant recognition of honor, courage, and ethical excellence in law enforcement. Mr. Sentome Obi, a Bayelsa native and head of the Financial and Cybercrime Unit at Zone 16 Command, Yanagwa, earned national acclaim following his refusal of a $17,000 bribe aimed at derailing a sensitive investigation. His principal stance, executed under operational pressure, exemplifies the highest standards of ethical policing. In acknowledgement of his uncommon integrity, Governor Diri presented Superintendent of Police Obi with a brand new Toyota Corolla and a fully furnished 3-bedroom bungalow, an unprecedented reward for ethical conduct in public service. The IGP lauded the gesture as a watershed moment in the effort to institutionalize integrity within Nigeria's security architecture. He noted that public recognition of exemplary officers is a powerful tool not only for reinforcing professional values within the force, but also for restoring public confidence in policing as a noble and honorable profession. Chief Nyesom Wike, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory (FCT), has urged Nigerians to reject the new opposition coalition, alleging that the political party, the African Democratic Congress (ADC), is seeking to destroy the country. Chief Wike spoke at the 50th anniversary and 35th convocation of the University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. At the convocation, the minister was conferred with an honorary Doctor of Science degree in political science alongside Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Nigeria's First Lady, Mr. Aminu Bello Masari, former governor of Katsina State, and Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State, who were also honored at the event. Speaking immediately after the conferment, the former governor of Rivers State mocked the political coalition, stressing that they are aggrieved and have nothing to offer the country. He described them as mafias who move around political parties without a clue of what they want and can offer to the nation. Speaking further, Chief Wike gave reasons for supporting the University of Port Harcourt as a governor and a minister. In his remarks, retired Admiral Ibo Ete Ibaz, the administrator of Rivers State, reiterated the state government's unwavering commitment to delivering quality education at all levels, emphasizing that no child will be left behind or denied the opportunity for academic advancement. Also speaking, Professor Owonari Judgewell, the Vice Chancellor of the university, expressed his joy in the institution's 50-year journey of academic excellence and service to the nation since its establishment in 1975. He announced that as part of the anniversary celebration, the university is conducting its 35th combined convocation ceremony, conferring a total of 13,861 degrees. This includes 9,788 bachelor's degrees, 2,131 master's degrees, and 208 postgraduate diplomas, and 934 Doctor of Philosophy PhD degrees. You are listening to the Golden Sunrise National and World News on 97.5 Golden FM Yanagwa. Still to come, more news, please stay tuned.
Experience Radio Perfection 97.5. We play great music
Hit music.
and everything coming on 97.5 Golden FM.
You're welcome back. You are still listening to the Golden Sunrise National World News on 97.5 Golden FM. And now for the rest of the bulletin. Governor Oyedere has implored universities to embrace technology in order to produce innovators for Nigeria. Governor Dere also challenged policymakers and education managers to develop and update curriculum at all stages of learning to meet the realities of the digital age. He called on universities to lead the way in research that optimize made-in-Nigeria inventions and products. The Bayelsa State Chief Executive stated this on Friday at the University of Port Harcourt, Choba River State, his alma mater, while delivering the 35th convocation and 50th anniversary lecture. He advocated that government at all levels make budgetary allocations to adequately fund educational institutions with support from the private sector as well as interventionist and donor agencies.
I describe as the national arrogance. An arrogance that views vocational skills as consolation prizes for those who could not succeed in academics. This mindset is precisely why we find ourselves in Nigeria today importing very simple things like toothpick and sharpeners. And this mindset and arrogance must stop. Going forward, it is my recommendation that government at all levels should provide intentional budgetary allocations that is adequate for the funding of our educational institutions.
Governor Dere expressed delight that the University of Port Harcourt reached a golden age and hoped that the next 50 years of the institution will require not merely prestige, but purpose, and not merely knowledge, but also impact.
Peer review locally and internationally. Policy makers and education managers should develop and update curriculum and methodology at all stages of learning to meet current realities. So as we celebrate 50 years of academic excellence, our graduates must become the bedrock of the emerging Nigeria. Let our convocation grounds quake, not just with applause, but with the arrival of a generation that refuses to wait for permission to build a better Nigeria.
The government announced that as part of its contribution to the growth of the institution, his government would embark on a staff housing project before his tenure ends. Professor Onari Georgewell, the Vice Chancellor, in his address congratulated the 861 graduates for successfully completing their studies. On behalf of the institution, Professor Georgewell presented the Distinguished Alumnus Award and the Lifetime Achievement in Education Partnership Award to Governor Dere for promoting education in Bayelsa and in recognition of his commitment to development of his alma mater. He said Governor Dere was among 50 distinguished alumni of the university selected for honor on its 50th anniversary.
Distinguished Alumnus Award proudly presented to His Excellency Senator Oyedere, the Governor of Bayelsa State. On this day, it's also in appreciation of what you have done today. We're also giving you what we call Lifetime Achievement in Education Partnership. Because irrespective of what you're doing and the few things you have told us you're doing in Bayelsa State to promote education, with your commitment today to us, we want to recognize you and give you this Lifetime Achievement in Education Partnership Award. Congratulations. Congratulations, Nancy. Congratulations.
Correspondent Isaac Ayedode reports that on the governor's entourage were Justice Ama Dere, his wife, Chief Abraham Ngobere, Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, other lawmakers, and Ambassador Bolade Gale, the National Chairman, and Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, amongst other top government functionaries. Senator Lawrence Rujakbo, Bayelsa State Deputy Governor, has stressed the need for judicial officers in the country to take their annual vacation seriously in the interest of productivity and their overall well-being during and after active service. Senator Rujakbo stated this at the weekend at the valedictory court session held in honor of late retired Justice Young Emmanuel Ogola at the Chief Judge's Court, Bayelsa State High Court Complex in Yenagoa. The Deputy Governor, in a statement by Mr. Dobara Atasi, his Senior Special Assistant of Media, while paying tributes to the departed High Court judge, described him as a man of values who never pursued materialistic gains at the expense of promoting the common good. According to him, the distinguished jurors belonged to the category of individuals whose impact was felt not only during his lifetime, but also in death, and his departure had created a large vacuum in the Ogola family, Sagama local government, and the state at large. Also, Justice Matilda Ayemeye, the state chief judge, eulogized the memory of retired Justice Ogola, stating that he was a man of honor and candor who gave his best years to the Court of Justice. To Mr. Villiai Dambo, SAN, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, the late retired Justice Ogola was more than a judge, as he was a pillar of judicial excellence known for his depth of knowledge, fearlessness in the pursuit of justice, and commitment to the rule of law. In his remarks, Mr. Felix Okrotie, SEN, observed that most judicial officers die shortly after retirement due to tremendous work pressure while in active service. He therefore called on the federal and the state government to provide special medical packages for both serving and retired judicial officers. Speaking on behalf of the Yanagwa and Sagama branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Clement Kekemeke, the chairman of Yanagwa MBA, enjoined members of the bar and bench to sustain late retired Justice Ogola's legacy of upholding the law, shielding the vulnerable, and championing the cause of righteousness. Late retired Justice Ogola was elevated to the High Court bench in May 2009 and served meritoriously for 10 years before bowing out in retirement. After retirement, the Basotho government appointed him and served as chairman of the NSAS Judicial Panel of Inquiry, and then later as chairman of the State Physical Planning and Development Tribunal, a position he held until his demise on the 21st of April, 2025. Amid tears and tributes, the remains of late comrade Ebisiri Kumar Jason Basa, the renowned human rights activist, was laid to rest at the weekend in his hometown in Agudama Ipetiema community in Yanagwa local government area of Bayelsa State. His body was lowered to Mother Earth at about 3:30 p.m. in a ceremony that lasted for hours. Speaking to newsmen during the ceremony, Honorable Ibewo Koko Obiai, the State Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Strategy, described Comrade Ebisiri Kumar Basa as an intelligent man who was focused in the Ijaw struggle. Also, Honorable Werinepri Sebarogu, former Deputy Governor of the state, who is from Agudama community, described Comrade Basa as an activist who was passionate and advocated for good governance and justice for the oppressed.
Intelligent man, very focused. Then, at the time, he started this his own struggle. And when he started the struggle, he campaigned vigorously for his own nation. And he believed in truth and justice. And he was not ashamed of that. He concentrated on that, even unto his death.
He was a comrade not only in Bayelsa and Nigeria, worldwide, well educated and respect the dollar. So at this time that there is need, all of us are here to give him a fitting burial.
Similarly, Alabanengi James, second vice president of the Izon National Congress (INC), described Comrade Basa as a defender of the Ijaw race who contributed to the struggle for the emancipation of the Ijaw people in Nigeria. Also, Mr. David West, chairman of the Civil Liberties Organization of Nigeria (CLO), Bayelsa chapter, said Comrade Basa was an embodiment of the struggle who was the mouthpiece of marginalized people.
Is someone that has established himself, for me, is an institution on Ijaw matters and Niger Delta issues. He has passion for humanity. Basa is a man of the people. You can confirm it today that some persons that have all the position in life may not have buried in this form. It is like a carnival.
Basa is one of the pioneer members of CLO here in Bayelsa State. When we had the Ijaw crisis in Lagos, it was him that took it upon himself to see that Ijaw people leave Lagos and they were safe during the OPC and Ijaw crisis. Same thing he did when some Ijaw communities were also having issues in Delta states. That is the kind of person he is.
In his eulogy, Mr. Miekinimi Michael Basa, first son of Comrade Basa, described his late father as a man of principle who was passionate about education, truthful, who also stood for the marginalized and oppressed. He also used the medium to thank everyone that attended his father's burial ceremony and prayed God to bless and comfort them in their time of grief.
Chief Comrade Ebise Egbon was a man of principle. He is this man that will go beyond his comfort zone to make sure that he satisfies the next person close to him. One of the best things I miss him most is his smile, his talk, his encouragement, because he's a tool of information and inspiration. I have never seen him get angry or get weak. When he's even down, you never know he's down. He's a motivation force. I just want to say a very big thank you to all of them for gracing this occasion, because without them this occasion will not be like this. I just want to say God bless them all.
Correspondent Isaac Ayedode reports that the burial ceremony, which took place at the community's pavilion, had in attendance staff, government functionaries, members of the Ijaw National Congress and INC, Ijaw Youth Council IYC, Civil Liberties Organization CLO, amongst other dignitaries. Now moving on to the foreign scene, Israel has announced a tactical pause in military activity in parts of Gaza after it delivered 7 packages of aid via airdrop. The Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) say designated humanitarian corridors are being set up for UN envoys to refute the false claim on intentional starvation. Israel has been facing mounting pressure from Western governments, with aid agencies warning that mass starvation is taking hold in Gaza. Aid agencies previously criticized Israel's airdrop plan, saying the quantity would be insufficient. A UAE official says another airdrop will take place today between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Meanwhile, the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says at least 127 people have died from malnutrition since the war began. That's the Sunrise News from 97.5 Golden FM. But before we go, here's a recap of our major stories. NDLEA has arrested a Chinese businessman and an 80-year-old grandma with colors in Moi Moi sachets. Court has rejected INEC plea to set aside judgment on electoral offenders in 2023 elections. Inspector General of Police has applauded the celebration of Police Officer of the Year 2024 by Bayelsa Governor. Governor Diri has tasked universities on Made in Nigeria innovations and pledges housing project at his alma mater. On foreign scene, Israel has announced tactical pause to fighting in parts of Gaza, saying it will open aid corridors. That was the Sunrise News. For news stories and comments and observations, please send us an email at goldenbuildingfmyenagua@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok on 97.5 Golden FM Yenagua. The news was edited by Isaac Ayedode, and I am Moya Stevie. Good morning, and thanks for listening.
Golden FM 97.5.